What is going on, fellers? First time streaming on this channel. I got a little project here. I'm in Game Maker Studio Pro. Kind of like just a economy style game. Going to be very basic. Almost no graphical interface. Just all data on screen. Just kind of working with it right now. Every person in the population has a birth date, so as people are born, that is tracked, and as time passes, they age. And so right now I'm kind of trying to figure out what's going on with my workforce here. Currently it's saying I have 5 workforce, and of course my total population is 5, but workforce for the purpose of the game right now is from ages 16 to 69. So apparently algorithms messed up somewhere, because there ain't no way 0-year-old or now a few months old babies can be in the workforce. So we got to figure out what's going on there. I've used Game Maker for quite a while, and have messed with the Game Maker language quite a bit, and haven't really messed with scripts that much yet. I started getting more involved with them, and I'm finding I like them a lot more. I don't know, it's kind of just Game Maker language doesn't really have too many tutorials. They do now, they're getting a lot better, but they didn't at first, and so it's kind of just find your own way. And from other object-oriented programming languages like Java and Python, I was able to kind of compare that and utilize these scripts as kind of like methods and functions, and it's nice. I like it. I like it a lot. It makes things a lot easier, makes things a lot more presentable. So pretty much what I'm doing here is working with this function or method to find workforce. Bear with me. I'm going to just check real quick and see if the word sound good or not. To be honest, it was messing up not too long ago. Microphone's messing up, so I just don't want y'all having to deal with that. So we're going to see right here what is going on. To deal with that. Awesome. So it doesn't sound like you guys are having to deal with that in your ears. Okay, so as you can see, I try to use a lot of commenting on my programs, just for me when I come back in, and just in case I ever find someone to actually program with me. I got it going. So all that talking's made me forget what was going on here. And, there we go. Yeah, and it keeps having workforce. So just counting the age. Has to be an and. Has to be younger or older than 16 and younger than 69. Or was of course throwing it off because younger than 69. It just had to be or. So putting it in there now, you'll see they don't get modified at all. The thing to do now, I've been trying to watch, is when they come full swing, is when they turn 16, do they actually join the workforce or not? So what I'll probably end up doing there is try and make this go a little bit faster. So as you can see here, this is used to keep time progression logic outside of the step loop. The step loop repeats, man, less than a second, I would say. I mean, could be more. I don't know the exact time frame on it, but I just know it loops, and it's a constant loop. So I don't have the time progression going inside the loop, or it could just constantly be racking up time. And what I'm trying to get at is having it progress at a certain speed I want it to be progressed at. So as you can see here, I call up here alarm 0, call time to progression logic. So alarm 0 is where the logic for timekeeping is, but this is how often it gets called. So if I want to speed up time, I just can change how fast the alarm time is called here. But if we look in here, when the alarm's called, I have all my scripts set up to progress day, determine population, figure age groups, add age to population, find workforce. And that, of course, is what you're seeing when we push go here. Now, obviously, time was not sped up right, or possibly too fast. I might not be able to do 0.0. 1 might be the fastest. Let's try 0.05. Let's see if it'll read. No. So it's looking like we have to go with 1, which is alright. I mean, we just gotta watch it. It just takes a little bit of time, so but cool. So we'll watch that once. What is that? 16 years, 32, 48. It's 48 hits. We should have people joining the workforce, and we know what's going good there. So I'm just going to drag this over to the left a little bit here. And since this is the first broadcast of this channel, kind of one I've been working with for a development plan here, design plan. It's economy-based game, kind of just laying out structure of how it will function. The primary goal is to have growth. I don't know exactly where we're going to go with the game, but right now it's just in its early development stages, so kind of just want to build it with you guys so everyone can see it as it's going. I don't know what it's going to go. I don't know how big it's going to get, but something fun to do. But anyways, yeah, growth is the main aspect of the game. The main resource you're trying to get. You're trying to obtain positive growth. Allows your establishment to grow, and negative growth diminishes your establishment, and eventually, if your population gets to 0, game over. So from there, remember over here we're looking for 48, so I'm going to be interrupting once that happens. With growth, what I have now, of course, it can always change. I'm going to try to get feedback from more and more people, from the Twitch channel and from just anywhere I can, polls, everything. Right now I have it set for growth, for positive growth to happen. This is all for positive. Negative aspects of the game are kind of just still in my mind, haven't been placed on paper, but I will be placing them out, of course, to keep the design going. As I'm talking, if you want to read how it works, that's it down there. But so positive growth is made from production and net profit, from workers and working, creating things, and profit after upkeep costs and general expenditures. What are we making? Do we have a deficit, or are we in the positive? If we go down from production, to have good production, we have to have good supplies and a good workforce. Without either, production's not going to be good. So those are both required to make good production. Supplies, we can get supplies. To have good supplies, we have to have good trading, because some supplies we won't be able to get. Still at this point, not sure. We're getting ready to go. There we go. Look at that. 48. The workforce jumped. Workforce jumped on time. So we'll just leave it and see if when they hit 69, if they hit 69 by the time we're done talking, if they jump out of the workforce. So yeah, trading gives you supplies, because some supplies, like I said, you can't get. I'm not sure. I'm just debating right now. I kind of need an artist because you know, if this game does take off for more than when I have it right now, that'll be something. But essentially, your whole civilization's just based in data land. There's no graphical representation. Like I said, this screen with the data here is all you will see, just full of data. And you know, I don't want it to be that. It's going to be a lot for people, but you know what? At least it'll get everyone used to the engine, how the economy works, how the game works, how it functions. So when eventually I do get graphical representations, it will you know, work out and actually be able to function as a game. So yeah, so and that being said, the production that happens will kind of just be told. You'll be told that these different resources are available to you, and you can create buildings and mines and different things to get those resources. But some, like I said, you won't be able to get. And for certain buildings, certain maximum output of production, you have to have certain supplies. And so, like I said, maybe you can't get steel. I had a few written down. I think maybe I got rid of them. That would stink. Yeah, I did. So like steel. So you didn't have a source of steel, and you had to trade for steel. There's where the supply is. Because maybe that supply is required for the production of weapons or something. Maybe that's a resource or a good that your country produces or your establishment produces in trades. So from there, of course, takes you into local resources. Local resources, like I said, are the things that you can actually obtain. So as long as you have these supplies, stuff can be built. Production is going. Things are good. Why? Because production has a workforce, and workforce now is here. What positively affects workforce is the population that is able to work and are healthy. Now, from this, healthy might be going underneath able to work in the chart here, because really, you know, health is more underneath population, more of a child of population rather than of workforce, just because it regards it's related to specific individuals rather than a group. But yes, right here, able to work, any member of a civilization that is healthy and over 16 and under 65. So right there, I mean, it's already calling healthy within its description of what it is. So, you know, of course, it probably should be under it, but you know, it's a work in progress. This is actually the first day I've worked on it. I've been working on it for about 6 or 7 hours now, just planning and just preliminary programming. But yeah, from there we go on to, like I said, net profit from growth. Trade will grow net profit. Of course, you know, there will be a gross profit and then upkeep and outgoing monetary gains will be taken from the gross, and that'll give you your net. You can't grow off of gross profit because money has to go in. You got to spend money to make money, and so your net profit is what the gross aspect on that side of the tree is based off of. And as you can see, that's from taxes. Able to work population has to pay taxes. So depending on how many people you have who are able to work, that directly affects taxes. Now, that's something special. As you can see, able to work population is something that affects both sides. Now, so those can kind of be thought of as the more important. Oh, sorry. I'm going to add some people over here. Those can be thought of as the more important categories, as they do affect both sides. And say you had zero able to work population, you have no workforce, and you have no taxes. You have zero production, zero net profit. Your growth then becomes in the negative. And what that is I haven't really planned it. What I was thinking with growth is every day, depending on your growth, positive or negative, you either gain or lose civilians population. I don't think I want it to be in that factor. I was kind of thinking of even going more down simulation, hardcore simulation, where each person has a mate, and every day probability of the mate getting, or one of them getting pregnant, depends. It's a random number, maybe like 1/4 chance or 1/5 chance that they will actually get pregnant each day. And once they get pregnant, 9 months later they have a baby. Oh, look at that, workforce down to 8. We got someone who's 70 now. Let's watch when this goes. It should be at 7. But yeah, so 9 months later they'd have a baby, and that would add to population. And pretty much what it is the game's going to be all about that. Focusing on creating your population, not only getting it to where every day you're having you're getting more characters, population, but keeping it strong. And as you can see right here, that affects it right there. Now we have that less of a workforce. So if there's times, months and months where you're not having anyone having children, that's a problem. And so I don't know if it's going to be too hard to where growth is actually every day. That's how many people are being born or removed from population, or having that just as a factor affecting the chances of pregnancies happening. I'm thinking about leaning towards that. Growth affects probability of babies being born. Let's put that. And see, I just spell check and let it go. As you can see here, is for my person. I didn't create an object in the game. I'm just glad this is working. As you can see, I did it a couple more times, and right there I added some more. I'm just gonna let this go because we know what we needed to find out works. I didn't create objects for people. What I did was I have a game control, and now game control is the only thing that is actually created in the room. There's one object in this room, and it is game control. So essentially, there's nothing that's going on. What game control does now is right off the bat to determine population. I'm probably, let's throw this in there too. Find age, figure age groups, just because that's up there too. So when we go into create here, I set this up, of course, so it's a little bit, sometimes gets a little bit hard, but we'll go through and look. Um, Variables, I declare the variables. Of course, here's user growth right now is at 10 at this moment. That's just hanging in there. This will be the growth factor of the user, and why I have user in there is I forgot to mention. The last one is trade. There will be trade going on, and that is affected by external relations. So you with other establishments, other countries. I call them establishments. I think that's what I'm going to go with, is calling them establishments, just because it's a little bit different. I do have this set in the future. The game would start off at 2032, so kind of like post-apocalyptic, and they're rebuilding civilization kind of deal. But yeah, so trade happens. There's your civilization, and there'll be other civilizations, and that has external relations right there. You work with them, and so you can get trades, and that's how trade affects supplies. And that's why user is here, because town net profit, town one net profit will be out there and have to be used for town one. So I just wanted to declare that, and make sure I knew, and everyone watching knew that this is what's going on. Tax level, I'm not sure. I don't think I will have to use tax level there, but you never know. I might have to just create an object for each one of those. You never know. We'll see what happens when it comes up. I'm kind of trying to, excuse me, trying to get this figured out here. So this is my main worry, is getting the actual simulation down and going from there. So yeah, I mean that's what we're getting at there. So this right now not being used, right here used for profit, we have 0, 0, 0. This actually is not being used at all either. It's kind of just a placeholder as well. Now this is being used, population variables. This is used for the count logic and alarm 1. Just has to be declared, so it's declared to create, to display on screen the value, user population, user hold the current amount of workforce, array used to hold users population. So right here, this is what I was talking about. I didn't create an object of person. I was thinking about it, but I thought it would be better processing, to rather, instead of creating multiple objects, a new object for each person, and then trying to go through and figure out the different aspects and attributes of those objects. I figured I would just create an array, and it would be faster, and keeps the processes down of having to find stuff out. Now my only problem is when I start getting data hungry, data heavy with the information that's displayed, is there's going to be a lot of calls going on and a lot of processes happening, and I'm worried that once I get, say, this I'm planning on having this game grow. I mean, you can grow your population exponentially, there's no stopping, and so that's the thing, is on slower computers, if I don't have this optimized correctly, it can get out of hand, even though it's not that graphics heavy. There's a lot of processing I want it to do. It may not be the most beautiful thing, but the beauty is going to be the simulation, and so that in its own right is going to take some processing power. And on this computer I have 24 gigs, so processing is not really a problem. I'm gonna have to publish to Linux and try it on my Linux computer. It's about 4 gig of RAM, so that's what we'll try. But here, yeah, like I said, I used an array, and so what I'm planning on doing is creating 10 people. Right now I have these first 2 people created, and as you can see here, I went through and I planned it out. So each index in the array, it's a 2-dimensional array. The first index obviously is that player, so or that person, the first person. 0 is one person, and 1 is the next person, and then the second index, the second dimension being related to these attributes here, 0 for age, 1 day, 2 months, and when we get here, day, month, and year is for their birth date, so it can tell when their birth date is and actually progress them as they should be progressed. And then mate. Mate is if they have a mate. And I wanted to do that because that's where I was talking about with that growth thing. And it just sounds better doing it that way, where growth affects the probability of replication, reproduction happening. So I'll probably just stick with that. So when they're born, it's at -1, just to declare that they don't have a mate. And then I'm thinking about once once they hit ATW available to work, that's when they'll be able to get mates and establish relationships. Now that'll all be based off of a random seed, a random generated number, probability wise of how they will actually, or the chances of them meeting someone, basically. And that's all going to be, very complex. But when it comes, it's whatever. But what the point of it is, so I can't have two people dating someone else. There's it's all monogamous. Yeah. So that's what that's used for. Health, of course, like I said, affects production. If someone is not healthy, this is simulated by the day. So what's going to happen is that, and I forgot to say that it is simulated by the day. So at the end of each day, or rather at the beginning of each day, stats are taken in, and what happens during that day affects the next day's stats. It is real time, but it's not real time to the hour or the minute. It's real time to the day. So what happens today shows up in tomorrow's numbers, kind of like that. Trying to get kind of like a real time analytics going on of economic happenings, but I don't know. It'll work. It'll work. So yeah, if someone's not healthy today, tomorrow they're not coming to work until they're going to stay away from work, and they won't be part of the workforce until their health comes back up. Once their health comes back up, they'll be back up. And that's where this right here, able to work, population member of the civilization that is healthy and over 65. So that number can be affected depending on whether or not they're healthy. And right here, can mate. Honestly, what that is for is once they become ATW, they can mate. They can mate before then technically, but I'm just ATW, can mate. So it will affect how your work first. So you got to think about that too. Is anytime you're pushing to have more reproduction happen. I'm going to put in ways for the player to actually be able to manipulate that a little bit, because they need to have that ability so they can restrict pregnancy, because like I said, it can affect the workforce, and this game's all about having the workforce. So yeah, can mate 0, what that'll be used for is if they get pregnant, they can't mate again, until they have their baby. So that'll just mean, hey, this couple cannot mate until the baby's born, and then they can again. Dead, to check if they're dead. That will also hold deaths. My worry there is eventually, I'll have 1 million people population, and there will be, 1 million, 2 million dead people in there. I have a 3 million indexed array. That's going to be a lot. So I'll probably end up, once someone dies, I'll have a function in there, a script that removes them from the array. That'll be fun. And so yeah, right here for population, just to prove that when they die, they're not added into my population in the data. I put someone who is dead, just to put them in there. So this person does not show up in population. Right now I don't have it to where people die. They just go, they don't die yet. Section holds a variable for time within the game. For groups, these are just variables for the group ages to be displayed. And right here, I like separating them with these headers, because it lets me know a lot more. This part, like I said, I create one object in the room. This part right here is actually creating the rest of the objects in the room for everything else. So why I did that was so I can manipulate X and Y values here rather than inside each one of these objects. They're all in the drawing objects. I don't want to have to manipulate each one of those in here. So I have it where I can just manipulate it all in one place. This is where all the data will go, and that's that. So we'll look at it again, just because you looked at what's happening in the create. And there you go. Now an alarm, like I said, it does all the scripts. All the scripts are here. So like determine population, that's what's happening when the population's being determined. Figure age groups, all that good stuff. We'll look at it as the channel progresses and as time goes on. I'm getting ready to actually hit the hay, so I just kind of want to show everyone here. The step. This is the only thing that is constantly going. It's in the step of the game control. This is not the logic. See, I shouldn't put I'm not going to put logic. I'm going to put for progressing time within the game. What it does is, if it can progress time, call the alarm, take all the call to the scripts out of the step, so it doesn't. Sometimes, here's the problem, sometimes if you have stuff in the step, it'll repeat itself. Steps happen multiple times a second, I believe, so either multiple times a second or like every second. So like that's, I believe it's multiple times a second. So I could be processing one day, 100 times a second and going flying through time. Now, yeah, that would help if I was fast forwarding or something, but I'm not fast forwarding. Basically, a day is going to be roughly 8 seconds, and so you can see right here 200. I'll put that in. This allows it to actually take that whole time. It calls the alarm and then calls false, so it can't just go through again. And then the alarm actually resets the time. In progress day, I believe. Let's see. Progress day here. Yep, progress day sets it back to true where it can progress time. So that's where that's going. See, this isn't going to be in there. This right now is just to create a new person using these 3 arguments, which is today. So someone was created today, so their birth date saved. And just like you see here, those arguments are used to create a new person with their day, month, and year for their birthdays. So yes, that's basically it. So from there, just keep on keeping on. Got to keep on putting stuff in. So right this. Need to display the growth. So what I've been doing, actually, I'm not going to do that. We're going to delete that. Duplicating. It's just much simpler to just duplicate it because it's already all there. You don't really need to do much. These are workforce, so we're just going to change this to growth. Let's see, do I have growth in there? Let's see here. User growth. Okay, so I do user growth. Now what I'm going to do here is then create. I'm going to have to create that new object there. Create object to display growth. Growth display. So I'm just going to drop it right underneath 85. Let's do 100 even. Right under where the workforce label pops up, the workforce header. So it should be right underneath that. Growth, there we go. And we're at growth of 10, so we know growth is 10. And if you remember from earlier, that's what I set it in the create there. User growth is 10. So let's see here. I'm trying to think. What would be good? Whew. I'm trying to think actually of what to do. With the calculation of birth. What I'm thinking about doing, I'm just checking on here, making sure you guys can still hear me and stuff. Probably going to quit it for tonight. As you can see, there's my offline channel thing for Twitch I just made in Photoshop. Yes, a little bit about me. I'm just a normal guy. I like to play games. Do a lot of different stuff. Using this Twitch channel, my Xbox One, and on the PC here, showing stuff in Game Maker and stuff in various games. So yeah, currently a software engineering student. Got about a year left to get my bachelor's in software engineering, and so I'll probably be showing some different things: web development, program development, database development, many different things. I just wanted to start with Game Maker because this was actually one of the very first things I bought to do game development with. And I spent a lot of money on it, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to continually develop on it, so I do. That's pretty much it, because I could develop in Java or C# or something else, but it's fun, it's easy, it makes things easier, and yeah, it's a lot easier, and it has a lot of built-in functions. It makes it's actually a great program to use for beginners and intermediates. So yeah, if you ever get a chance, check it out. It's by Yo-Yo Games. Many different exporting platforms. They're also going to be, what was it? Forgot what they were going to be getting. Oh, Xbox One support here soon. So you can make games for Xbox One, which will be sweet. But yeah, so that's it for me for tonight. I probably will be getting on again tomorrow night. I'm working on it again. Might be playing some games, I'm not sure yet, but for now, that's it. So you guys all have a good night. I'll check you all a little bit later. Alright?